Welcome back to our YouTube channel, guys. My name's Ardil, and today's video is a comparison video between the factory stock system in the Lamborghini Huracan Evo 21 plate over the aftermarket system that we're putting into it. Obviously, there's a full behind the sound series on the whole install, so make sure you go check that out at the end of this video. But if you are new to our channel and haven't seen us before, hit that subscribe button, and remember, we've got that massive competition live on our channel already. Link for that is in the description below. Today's video is going through the stock speakers, what you get from Lamborghini themselves over what we're putting in, and talking you through the weight differences on the products and comparing them between each other. So let's start off with, this car came in with the base system. So Lamborghini offer two systems from factory. One is the base system, which this car has, and then you've got a Sensonum system, which the Huracan Performante behind me has in there. So we'll probably do a separate video on that, but this is the factory tweeter and the factory speaker in the door. So this is an 8-inch driver inside the door. Obviously, we're going to be comparing them to what we're actually going to be putting in. However, this set of speakers is the same set of speakers you get from an Audi A3. These part numbers match up to an Audi A3 speaker. So that's exactly what you're getting. On this car, there might be the grills for the rear speakers. You do not have rear speakers behind there. There is no designated sub. There is no designated amplification system. You have this set in the car. That is all that's playing. So let's start off by going through the tweeters and comparing the two. So we've got the factory Audi A3, Lamborghini Huracan, whichever one you want to call it, tweeter. Plus, then what we're putting in is the Audison Thesis tweeter. This is one of the highest points of reference points that you guys can have in a car. Obviously, you can see physical size-wise what the differences are. It's an immense difference in quality of the actual product, the magnets inside it, the frequency response that it's going to be able to play. Obviously, with something like this, it can't sit in a stock location. So this tweeter sits on top of the dashboard, firing up into the glasswork and straight into the A-pillar, and it directs all over the place, and it's just a really poor place for a factory tweeter to be located. So what we're doing, and what the guys are building at the moment, is full custom A-pillars to basically put this tweeter on axis, putting it towards the driver and getting a far better sound reproduction in the car. Obviously, you can also amplify these far more heavily than what you ever could with that, because that would just blow because of the build quality of it and what it can actually handle. So let's do a little bit of a measurement on actual weights here. So this is the factory Evo Lamborghini tweeter. So we are 73 grams for the factory tweeter. Then on the Audison Thesis tweeter, we are 373 grams, so a big difference in weight. Weight obviously doesn't always mean far better quality. However, in this occasion, the products that we're using, by God, honestly, it makes such a difference having this set in. I mean, the Audison Thesis range is what I use in my own car, and you can come by, have a listen to that any time. Come by, book an audio consultation. We'll go through all of this in a bit more detail. So that's basically the tweeters playing the higher frequencies in the car. Then moving down in the frequency range, you've got the mid-bass, which is the equivalent to the Lamborghini one here. So this sits in the door, and we're going to be putting the Audison Thesis sax into the door as well. However, because there's no rear speakers and because there's no designated sub, obviously that is trying to do what these two products are designed to do, which just doesn't work. So that's why we're adding in a designated sub, because the frequency response that each speaker plays, this will still be limited to, say, 60 hertz down, and it, depending on your amplification, might only be cut off at about 100 or 150 hertz. Then that comes into sub territory in terms of the frequency range, and that's why a designated sub is so important. But let's compare these two. So again, this is the Audi A3 Lamborghini Huracan Evo speaker. So this is literally come out of the door. So what we've got is an 8-inch driver that sits in the factory door. And what we're going to be doing is comparing this to the Audison Thesis sax. So we'll just compare behind, just a quick look at the magnet size difference. I mean, it's rather you can see just from physically the quality difference. I mean, this is a paper cone design, very poor quality. The Audison Thesis sax is a thing of beauty by itself. Obviously, this will be completely hidden, and it will be going into this car very soon. They are going in on this car with a custom 3D printed baffle, but to match the factory bolt positions and allow the grille to cover it. So, but overall, a really nice way of actually upgrading the system but completely hiding it. Obviously, what this is trying to do, the 8-inch driver, is trying to replicate a sub frequency as well as a mid bass frequency, which just it can't really achieve, especially with a product of quality like this, the magnet, the structure. I mean, you can see by the actual spiral design inside the actual, you probably won't be able to see it unless we cut it open, but the spiral design inside there, the cone quality, the magnet size, it's just, you can tell the difference. So let's do a little bit of a weight test now. So turn the scales on. So this is the factory Lamborghini one. We are at 314 grams. So even the factory, our new tweeter pretty much weighs about the same as that, or if not more. Then we've got the Audison Thesis sack. So let's see what this weighs in at. So that's gone up to 1.167 kg over the gram. So back onto there, we are 313 grams and yeah, 1.165 kg. So a big difference in weight in comparison from the factory door speaker to obviously the 6.5-inch driver that we're putting in. So we are going down in size, but that's because we've got a designated sub. Obviously on this car, there's no designated sub. So what we're going to do is a comparison between what Lamborghini are calling a sub or using as a sub. And then we're going to be changing that over to the Hertz Me Legend sub. I mean, if you're comparing, if they're trying to drive this as a sub, look at the difference. It's immense. Like, if you thought the 6.5-inch driver was impressive as a difference, this is trying to run as a sub. It physically, look at the dimensional differences of these products. You can't. They are both an 8-inch sub, but if you look at the cone rollover size in comparison to the rollover size on this cone, big difference. And bass is all down to what's called excursion of a cone, how much a cone can move up and down. That means this speaker is very limited in terms of movement as the actual speaker itself, whereas this speaker can move a hell of a lot more. And actually, when you amplify these very heavily, they absolutely rock. And we're actually adding 2 of these into this car, so make sure you follow the Behind the Sound series because there'll be loads of content on this. But you've seen the weight of that. Let's see what this measures in at. It breaks our scale, so we are on error. So it's one of those things, our scales don't quite measure something of this weight, but it is so impressive. Excursion of the cone is going to give you loads more bass in the vehicle. And this car is actually going to absolutely rock. I can't wait to hear it. This has got 3 Thesis amplification systems going in. There's a full Behind the Sound series, so we won't go into that too much more, but I just want to show you guys what you get from Lamborghini themselves and what you could have in your car. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. Thank you very much for watching, guys. We look forward to seeing you soon, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more of our future videos.